Hello again, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about 5 items that are low cost and low weight, which my family always takes with us when we go winter camping. So when we're talking about equipment for our adventures, we want high value items. Now, like everything else in our lives, part of what high value means is low cost, at least low cost compared to the use that we get out of those items. But when we're talking about backcountry adventures, we're also talking about low weight. We have to carry this equipment a long way, and we don't want it weighing us down. So today we're talking about 5 items that are all under $10, and the heaviest of which is only 3.9 ounces, or about 110 grams. Item number 1 on our list is this So-Clim Mini-broom. Now, this Mini-broom actually comes with a dustpan. I just don't bring that dustpan with me when I head into the backcountry. Winter camping, at least where I live, means dealing with snow. And what we don't want to do is be tracking that snow into our tent where it can get on things, get in our gloves, get on top of our extra down jackets, get on top of our down sleeping bags, rendering them cold and uncomfortable at best, or potentially fully saturated and unusable until we dry them out. That's where this broom comes in. Say we're away from camp and it's actively snowing. When we get back to camp, we can use this broom to simply brush our shoulders and our cap off before getting inside the tent. We've also probably been walking around and compacting snow onto the bottom of our boots. Well, the hard plastic corners of this broom can dig through that tread and release that compacted snow. Or maybe you're like me and you use a 2-layer boot when you're winter camping. Well, I find when I'm taking the boot shell off, I almost inevitably touch that liner boot down on the ground again, getting some snow on the bottom. This does a great job of brushing that snow off as well. And with our 2 kids, no matter how hard we try, we do end up bringing some snow into the tent, and this broom easily brushes that snow out of the front door, just like you would brush off your front porch. So at only 1.7 ounces or 48 grams and under $10, we use this broom multiple times a day as people are getting in and out of the tent, and we avoid the problem of bringing snow inside of our tent rather than deal with the problem of having snow inside of our tent. Great value for money and weight on our winter camping trips. Now, item number 2 on our list is O'Keeffe's Working Hands Hand Cream. When I'm out on a multi-day winter camping trip, I can get these cracks right at the corners of my fingernails on my fingertips. They get really pretty deep, kind of all the way through all the layers of skin. Think of like the worst paper cut that you've ever had. And you've got multiple fingertips with multiple cuts on them. And it makes doing things with your hands really painful. If you're digging out a tent platform or building a snow wall, or heck, even just throwing snowballs with your kids, it can get painful to grip things as those cracks split when you apply pressure on your fingertips. That happens because we're wearing gloves all day when we're winter camping, and those gloves, while great at insulating us, are also designed to wick moisture away from your hand. They don't want your hands sweating if, say, you have a glove that's too warm for the temperature, because when you take that hand out of your glove and it's wet and sweaty, it's going to get cold really fast. So that moisture wicking fabric is doing what exactly it's supposed to do, but it also can get my fingertips really dry. That's where this hand cream comes in. Again, multiple times a day. Let's say I'm away from the tent for a while doing something like making lunch. When I come back to the tent, I make sure I use the hand cream. Before I go to bed at night and put those gloves on for the last time, I make sure I use the hand cream, getting those fingertips to stay nice and moist and not cracking and painful. Now, a new jar of O'Keeffe's Working Hands has 2.7 ounces of cream in it, and with the jar weighs 3.9 ounces or about 110 grams. Now, of course, you can scoop out just what you need and put in something lighter, like a Ziploc bag, but either way, for under $10 and under 4 ounces, this is something that I use an awful lot, and it makes my trip far more enjoyable when I can use my hands than when I can't. Now, item number 3 on our list, this Renard collapsible silicone funnel. Now, why might you want a funnel? Well, if you saw our top 12 tips for cold weather camping, you saw that we suggested that right before you go to bed, you pour some boiling water into your water bottle and stick that water bottle into the bottom of your sleeping bag so that you got this little furnace generating heat for you over the course of the night. Well, pouring boiling water into a water bottle is pretty easy to do if you've got a wide mouth water bottle with a thick plastic like a Nalgene or a similar brand. But say maybe you're counting ounces ounces or counting dollars, and you want to repurpose a bottle, like a Smart Water bottle, or this happens to be a former Gatorade bottle, and it's got that thinner plastic and a less wide mouth. Well, pouring boiling water into this is hard, and you often are going to spill it over the edges of that mouth. And that hot water can melt and misshape this very thin plastic. And once you have a misshapen mouth on your water bottle, your lid will no longer seal. And a water bottle that can't seal isn't much of a water bottle at all, and certainly not one that you can put in the bottom of your sleeping bag. So at 0.95 ounces, or 27 grams, we use this at least every night as we're getting that boiling water into our water bottles to put in our bags, but also really every time that we're refilling a water bottle. So lots of use for less than an ounce. And I've seen these go for $3.50, $4. Very easy to find, very inexpensive, and very useful. Now, item number 4 on our list is the cheapest and the lightest, and it's these Howard Light foam earplugs. And you've probably seen things like these around construction sites. They're just foam that compresses, you put in your ear canal, and then it slowly expands to fill up that ear canal to deaden sound. And we find that's really helpful at night when we're winter camping. Why particularly when we're winter camping? Isn't it noisy at night every season? Well, in the winter, at least my family, we're all sleeping on inflatable air mattresses as opposed to just closed cell foam. In the winter, when we're on snow, those closed cell foam mattresses just don't provide enough insulation for us to stay warm and comfortable, so we're on the air mattresses. Well, those air mattresses can make an awful lot of noise when you roll over, and when you've got 4 people in the tent all rolling over on their own schedule, they can make a lot of noise over the course of the night. So these earplugs make it much more pleasant for us to get a good night's rest, to wake up feeling rested, and have fun with our family throughout the rest of the day. Now, because they are compressible, they are usable by anyone in your family, kids included. You just got to cut the ends, the outer ends, off so that they don't protrude out of their ear. That way they can sleep on their side comfortably. Now, these only weigh 2 grams or 1 gram each, or 0.05 ounces roughly per set, and you can get a box of 50 sets for less than $10. So for sleeping well as opposed to feeling cranky and unrested, absolutely worth the wait and the cost every time we go out in the winter. And another thing about nighttime, and maybe some of you can relate to me on this one, I'm finding that as I'm getting older, I have to go to the bathroom more frequently at night than I used to. And as annoying as that is when I'm at home, getting out of bed and going to the toilet, it's even more annoying when I have to get up out of a tent and go into the wilderness. And it's even more annoying still when I'm doing it in the dead of winter and I have to insulate myself before I go out of the tent to go to the bathroom. It's a production. I have to fish my glasses out of my sleeping bag. I keep them there so they don't fog up every time I put them on my face. I've got to put a jacket on. I've got to find something to put on my feet, like my boot liners. I've got to get my headlamp on. I've got to unzip the tent. All of these things are creating noise and are potential opportunities to wake my family up. I don't want to do that. And also, it takes minutes, and that can be really uncomfortable if you really have to go. So item number 5, and now we're getting really real here, is a pee bottle. Now, your pee bottle certainly can be a thin plastic repurposed bottle. This happens to be an old 28-ounce Gatorade bottle. The key is that it's got to be a different shape than anything else that you're drinking from in camp. So you've got to be able to feel in the dark that this is in fact your pee bottle. You'll also notice that I wrapped a strip of duct tape around this because I'm going to take this home and I'm going to wash it, and if someone else happens to find it drying, I don't want them to think this is something they can drink from. So it's well marked so everyone knows that this was in fact a pee bottle. Now, some of you ladies might be saying, well, great for you guys, but it doesn't really help us out. Well, I have some climbing partners and mountaineering partners who use products like Shiwi or Go Girl, and there are others. Think of these as, shall we say, ergonomically designed funnels. And all kidding aside, they've practiced in the shower and gotten pretty proficient at it, and so they now can use pee bottles as well. Now, this former 28-ounce Gatorade bottle weighs 1.6 ounces, or roughly 45 grams, now that it's empty. And of course, it costs way less than $10, actually just more than $1 or so. Plus, you get to drink whatever was the liquid inside when you originally bought it. So again, well worth the value to not have to go through this big routine to get up out of bed every time I have to go to the bathroom. So hopefully only using this maybe once a night, but sometimes it happens a little bit more frequently than that. But completely worth that cost and that weight. So those are 5 items that me and my family find are well worth the cost and well worth the wait. We take them with us every time we go winter camping. What are maybe some more obscure items like these that you and your family take camping? How do you get the most out of them? We'd love to see those in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to be alerted every time Short Guys Beta Works makes a new video, please subscribe and ring that bell. And if you got ideas for content that you'd like to see, please drop those in the comments, because we're always looking for ways to help you get more out of that big outside.